It's important to watch until the end.
Okay, guys, so I know this have taken forever, literally forever, but that's okay because it is here now. I am so excited to welcome you to the launch of Teacher School Builders, how to start a school step by step. So whether you want to start a private school, a micro school, a learning pod, even a home school, whether you want it to be accredited, non-accredited, religious, or secular, you're in the right place, except if you want a charter school. Then you're not in the right place. But for the rest of you, I got you. So before we jump right in, for those of you who do not know me, let me introduce myself. My name is Cindy Lumpkin, and I started a school over 8 years ago, and I did it with very little money. I just had a lot of passion and faith, and that was about it. Okay, a little bit of money, but I promise you, not a lot. I really have shown, I guess, by my own jump into this, I've shown a lot of other teachers that this can be a reality. And it's an important reality to me for where we are right now. There's just so many teachers who are not happy, but they truly are teachers. And that was me. Over 8 years ago, well, about 10 years ago, I just was not happy in the educational system. I did not want to change careers, but I knew I couldn't continue to go on the way that I was. And so I ended up resigning once I had my first child. When she turned about 2, I realized that I wasn't designed to be the regular or the typical stay-at-home mom. And that my husband kind of encouraged me to pick up my nonprofit, and I did. And a lot of things came together, and I found myself with an accredited school. So I have done all the work for you. I have really laid out step by step how you can do the same. And it is an honor and a privilege to guide you through this. It is my goal to help frustrated teachers thrive inside or outside of the classroom. That brings me to Teacher School Builders, for those of you who want to get outside of the classroom, but you still want to teach and you want to start your own educational business. So now I'm going to tell you a little bit about Teacher School Builders, and this is what I need for you to promise me. Please watch this in its entirety, okay? You just have to, so that you can understand how this program will roll out. In addition, I really want you to know and to hear my heart behind why I am even doing this, and for free. Okay. Well, as a special education teacher and one who has worked in an urban context, one that I feel called to, I love being a special ed teacher. I love working in an urban context. I love working with kids from impoverished backgrounds, those from working class backgrounds, because I feel like I it was my duty to show up for these students every day, because I wanted them to be able to really use education as an avenue to really catapult them out of what maybe their parents' situation was, right? And I believe that every child should have access to a quality education, and that cannot be just words, right? I really believe that every child deserves to have a program that helps to educate them. And so with that being said, I realized that after almost 10 years of teaching, I probably was just as much as the problem as what I did not like about public schools, right? And it wasn't because I was trifling, but when you work in a system that is just too big and really just can't meet the needs of the kiddos, sometimes it's our hands as teachers are tied. And I think that's what I felt like. And so I felt like I was just becoming a part of the problem because I wasn't able to solve the problem. And so that's when I decided that I was going to use more of my own time and talent to make small changes within my community for those people who believed in me and believed in my vision. Next, when I actually started out on this journey, it was lonely. And at every turn, like, I questioned whether or not I could actually do this. One, because there wasn't a lot of people that I could look to and say, hey, they started this school with not a lot of money. So for the most part, eight and a half, 9 years ago, it was either the well-established private schools for the most part, or maybe some homeschooling, but it still wasn't as big, or public schools. I remember I heard about a lady, actually she was a social worker or something, that started her own school, and that really kind of planted the seed for me, right? And so as I started out, I remember asking for help from this lady who was supposedly a nonprofit expert, and she probably was. But I remember she charged me $100 for an hour. We met at Whole Foods, and for an hour, she just off the top of her head randomly gave me whatever facts about nonprofit. Well, at that moment, because I was basically this empty vessel, it really did nothing for me. It didn't help me to make a step forward towards what I was trying to do. It was just a bunch of useless information at the time, and I paid $100. Yeah, she may have been valued that much, but I didn't get my money's worth. That was one thing. And then I met a guy who had an educational program, or a school, if you will, that I was able to look at and say, oh yes, this is what I can do. And I remember calling his school, asking to speak with him. I told him who I was, what I was doing, and I asked him if I could buy him lunch. And so he graciously obliged. And so we had lunch. I asked him questions, and he answered for the most part. And then at the end, I was like, hey, dude, I need a mentor. And okay, maybe I didn't do it like that, but I definitely asked about some coaching and mentoring and so forth. And he shut that down really quickly. He basically said, you will be my competition, and I am going to have schools all around this metro area. That was that. I've never had another conversation with him again. So I felt like people were like so not helpful that I don't want that for you. And I also realized that this is bigger than me. I cannot serve all of these kids who need an alternative setting. I can't serve all of the kids who parents feel like they need an alternative setting. And so I know that more awesome teachers like you need to start these smaller schools, smaller micro schools, smaller learning pods, or what have you, whatever it is that you will call your educational program. I believe in this movement for teachers like you as well as me. So I want to do my part to help you to make your vision a reality. I'm also not a salesperson, right? So I had a coach after I realized that I couldn't give everybody 30 minutes and an hour of let me pick your brain, because I actually attempted that. And then also though, what I also realized that, although I realized that there was some value in paying those two people, even though I didn't get the information that I wanted, I also realized that when you just open yourself up to give people information, they're going to take, and they don't care about you either, right? And so I knew I want to help, but at the same time, all of the people who were coming asking for my help, and I was giving it freely without anything, it was taking me away from time that I spent on my own business. At that moment, I said, okay, maybe I will create this program and actually sell it. Well, I'm too much of a perfectionist, one with my videos and so forth. So I found this middle ground where I absolutely have given you the step-by-step process to start your own school. Now, obviously, each state is different, so some things may be different, and you will have to do enough research on your own to figure those things out. When you get to that point, I will generally say, hey, this is not the same across the board. So you will know when you would need to do more digging and ask them more questions for your particular state. Now, what I have done is I've created some products that will shorten your time. Again, I say you don't even have to invest in the products. However, some of you who are on this journey will realize it might be smarter to make this investment so that I don't have to go around the cow's butt to figure out what I need to do, or whatever. I don't even know if that makes sense. But that's the thing. If you purchase a product, it is clearly you supporting me and shortening your learning curve. Otherwise, stick to my little curriculum, my article, and these videos, and I will take you step by step with everything that you need to think about and the decisions that you need to make in order to make your school a reality. Another thing, there are so many people who really like the idea of like being their own boss, right? But it's not for everybody. So some of you are going to go through this course and realize this is not for you. That's the other thing. I don't want your money if this is not going to turn out to be something that you're going to actually go forward with. So again, the information is here for you. Before you buy anything from me, I would ask that you go through it and really make that decision for yourself, whether it is this year or next year or 3 years or 3 months. Make that decision that you're going to actually pursue this before you purchase something from me. Because if you do, I want to see your school not only start, but thrive. So let's get into how the Teacher School Builders program will actually work. So in the description box, there is a link to an article, a very long article at that. And what I've done is created a step-by-step process. And then occasionally I will have other resources and other videos to further illustrate whatever we're talking about in that particular process. Okay. So if you're watching this now and you haven't, and even if you have, I know I put this is being worked on forever. So a lot of you have been going to the article already. I can see my metrics numbers going up, but, I'm continually updating that, right? And so if you're seeing this video now, that means that is pretty much updated. If I were you, I would go back to the article and go step by step and then look at the videos. Now, also be reminded that there are some older videos that I decided, hey, there's nothing wrong with these videos. So you may have already watched them, but the key now is with the new videos, I am putting everything in a chronological order. So it really makes sense to be able to start here and go through everything. In addition, some of the products, and even at this moment, I am still making those. But at some point, I am going to have a bundle and I'm going to offer them individually. So if you want to purchase them individually, and obviously if you want to purchase the bundle is going to probably cost a little less. You can. I just wanted to forewarn you, but it will be on the blog or either down below whenever I upload this video. Another thing that I really want you to understand, we have a Facebook group and it has, I believe, about maybe 1,300 teachers who are interested in starting their own schools. Some of them we've actually watched them do step by step, and they're going to be starting this upcoming school year. So at one point, we just kind of let any and everybody come in, right? Well, as of now, that is going to stop. And you might ask why. Well, we want community. We don't want just a bunch of people who are curious or a bunch of people who are just takers, right? We're trying to build a community of people where we all help each other. Even with me, some of the newer people who are coming in and starting their school, like I'm looking at business models and I'm like, oh, I wish I would have known that when I did this. If I had it to do all over again, I would do it this way. So even I am learning so much from people who are in there now, and everybody gives information so freely. I want to just make sure that as we continue to grow, that the people who are in there are going to be good community people. And when you make an investment in yourself, then that is probably a higher evidence that you will come in and be a good community member with us. So any product that you purchase, whether it's an individual product or whether it is the bundle, you will be able to have access to our Facebook group. And I'm telling you, you really want to have access to that. When you go and you read that article, that's the first thing that I talk about. Like, you want community. You really want to surround yourself with a group of people who are on the same journey that you are on. In addition, I will occasionally have Q&As. And these Q&As are going to be really coaching sessions, okay? So sometimes we might say, hey, we're going to talk about curriculum. So you are invited to come to these Q&As and have all of your questions about curriculum answered from myself and maybe other teachers that I invite on to these who are also either starting a school or have started their schools. In order to do that, you don't have to pay. You just have to make sure that you are on our newsletter, that you've signed up for it. And when you do sign up for my newsletter, then you will also get a checklist. And this checklist will actually take you step by step. It's a year, step-by-step process to help you to start your school in 1 year. And it gives you the thing you should do in month 1 and month 2 and month 6 and all of that good stuff. And it leads you all the way up to opening your actual school doors. So join the newsletter. The link is below and you will get that, as well as you will always get updated on when we are doing these Q&As. And last but not least, do me a favor. If you know a teacher, if you have a teacher friend, or even a parent, because that's the other thing. I actually have lots of parents who are coming to me really frustrated and wanting to create the school that their child needs. And a lot of times what I try to do is to pair them with educators, okay? So if you know a parent who is really serious about trying to start a school that will work for their child as well as other children, send them my way. If you know of a teacher who is really interested in starting their own school, please send them my way, and together let's change the face of education. Click on that link below.